You kind of get hit right between the eyes with a dose of reality.
If you want to know what the urban battlefield is like, go see Black Hawk Down.
Soldiers do amazing things. They put their life on the line.
The United Nations was in Somalia. It went in initially to solve a hunger problem and a famine issue. Warlords, clans, sub-clans controlled that city and were struggling to be in charge.
Mr. Garrison, I think you shouldn't have come here. This is civil war. This is our war, not yours.
300,000 dead and counting. That's not a war, Mr. Ito. That's genocide.
In June of 1993, there were a group of Pakistani peacekeepers that were ambushed and savagely, barbarically murdered.
And the United States volunteered us in a task force for one reason, to bring Mohammed Farah and his people who were responsible for killing those UN Pakistani forces to justice.
We had already captured his head financier, Mr. Otto. We were after his next tier of people or others in that same tier. This was in the most dense portion of the city. We couldn't land all our aircraft on the ground. We had the fast rope in, and we couldn't go back in and land to pull the people out.
Let's go! Let's go! Adrenaline, the fear, the excitement, all those emotions all wrapped up into one were no different on that Sunday.
RPG! Hold on!
Quickly slid over, grabbed the rope, and as I start going down this 65-foot fast rope insertion, I can see through the dust down at the bottom of the rope the body of a young ranger lying on the ground. I'm thinking, my goodness, somebody's already been shot.
We've got a man down! We need to get him out of here!
We were starting to load the prisoners, and that's when the first incident occurred, which was the young ranger that fell off of the rope. Sent those 3 vehicles back to save Todd's life. Loading the prisoners continues. That's when the first helicopter was shot down.
We got a Black Hawk down. We got a Black Hawk down.
Getting to it was difficult, both for the guys on the ground.
Trying to drive through these cities.
Let's move out!
Everywhere they would turn, there was enemies shooting out of buildings, shooting from windows, doors. It wasn't the number of people that we had to fight or anything. It was how many rocket-propelled grenades were fired that day. Prior to that, on 6 missions, we maybe saw 20. That day, we probably saw 220. We accomplished the mission, though. We were sent out to get prisoners, 21 of them. We got all 21 of them. It was a limited success because we lost soldiers. And that's the reason it's always limited if you lose even one.
Danny, no one gets left behind.
Look at these guys. I mean, they're wonderful. Ranger privates just taking it to the enemy, engaging the enemy, and taking care of their buddy that's been wounded, and doing it in tough times and without even thinking twice about it.
Without a doubt, out of my 28-year service, the most emotional and intense 18 hours of my life, and that's how long I was in the air in the command and control aircraft for 18 hours of my 28-year career.
They're soldiers, but they're still people. I have a very, very soft spot in my heart for soldiers, especially those that I've had the privilege of serving with.
Appease your appetite for the macabre. Bring to light your dark side. If you dare.
I'm so scared!
Tour into terror and meet the people who made it happen. The Mystery Channel invites you to a behind-the-scenes look into Rod Serling's Night Gallery.
Painting number 1. It has to do with death.
It was a groundbreaking television series.
Night Gallery was truly off the wall.
It was daring, it was original, it was different.
With boundless artistic opportunities for its cast and crew.
You're telling a different story every week, which means every week you gotta build new thing, new costumes. Sometimes you're doing period, sometimes you're doing future, sometimes you're doing very heavy special effects.
How does the production crew bring to life the visuals of a macabre world?
You could do any wacky thing you wanted to. In Camera Obscura, we were ripping off sets from the cabinet of Dr. Caligari. And, you know, weird tilted sets and angled things and strange lights coming in.
We had to be very imaginative because we didn't have a lot of money. And we were always under the gun in terms of time. You look at the look of Sin of the Father, that show was done in 3 days on stage. It was amazing.
Masks, costumes, and cosmetics were all crucial elements of the series' shadowy tone.
Makeup to me is part of the storytelling. You know, back in that period, you didn't show blood, you didn't show bruises.
Night Gallery stretched the limits of conventional television of its time.
We had one show, as an example, that had to do with a pilot.
Bring him out of there.
Charlie, you gotta listen to me. You're coming down, Charlie. Pull back on the controls, Charlie.
And he went up so high that things changed physically, and as he came down, all of a sudden his skin was going to start bubbling off.
You can pull her out. Pull her out.
And I read it and I thought, well, this is never going to get on television. So I devised a way for it to work.
The show's musical score and ghoulish paintings set the mood and new standards for the mystery genre forever. Boundaries were broken with producer Jack Laird at the helm.
The one thing that I liked about him and about Rod Serling as well, they were futurists. The capper was that Jack wanted the very first synthesized score ever done for a world premiere, which I did.
Paintings became a major part of the show. People loved them. It's that first image you get that gets you excited as a viewer. I would read the story, digest it, and let it work for a little while. I'd start researching it and then start putting down ideas.
These are ghouls and grave robbers, bloodsuckers and usurers. I don't belong here.
Experience Rod Serling's Night Gallery, seen the way it was meant to be seen, complete and uncut. Weeknights on the Mystery Channel.
Action, Julie.
From the director of Boogie Nights.
I started writing and I just kind of got carried away, and I let my gut kind of take me.
Comes a complex tale of love and death, bizarre coincidences, and the enduring human spirit.
It's about getting the courage to fall in love, and it's about being nicer to your kids.
As human beings, our behavior affects other people and changes you, and then you change how you affect other people. We're all interrelated.
She was my wife for 23 years.
You will not control me.
I cheated on her.
No! You will not take my soul.
I have a son, you know.
No! You will not win this game.
I let my love go.
This film to me is what I think film should be, what I think acting should be, what I think storytelling should be.
You were in a lot of pain. She was in a lot of pain. I know, because I was there, Earl.
Yeah, this is overwhelming to you, this is too much for you. Well, that's what life's like, a lot of times.
Most of the cast and crew worked with Anderson on the critically acclaimed Boogie Nights.
It's my fourth film with Paul. He loves to write for the actor that he wants to play it. So what you see in this film, virtually all the principal parts were written for the actors who play them.
So we'll be back for round two and a ring-dang-doo. Oh, hello, hello. Bonus musical question.
Here's a script, and I wrote Claudia for you, and take a look at it. And so, of course, there's the fear of, I want to be as good as I can for him, and also the fear of, I'm going to have to go into this deep, dark depths to play Claudia.
I'm really nervous that you're going to hate me soon.
Claudia, whatever you want to tell me, whatever you think might scare me won't.
You don't know how crazy I am.
It's okay.
You want to kiss me, Jim?
Yes, I do.
I am the one who says yes. No. Now.
Tom Cruise was new to the Anderson repertoire.
The truth is that he called me up saying that he loved Boogie Nights and would like to work with me. It was just really fun to try and write a role that would impress him, because that kind of was pushing me to be a better writer.
Experience Magnolia, Saturday at 8 on Starz.